Okay, so we get started for QTP. So today I'll discuss about quick test professional really quick. So I mean this is like a kind of introduction. Not we are not really going into deep into QTP, how to design this scripts and all those things. We'll just go have some touch base on this so that you'll get an idea of like how the automation will looks like and how you can do if given a chance. Okay, because as I told you right before, like you need to be more flexible. You need to be more flexible when you are trying to get a project, right? You don't just, you shouldn't stick to one thing like manual. No, I just don't be good manual. I don't want this, I don't want that. So, I mean, yeah, options are good, but you know, um, thing is not always it is suitable. Okay, you need to have flexible, need to be flexible. If you get an automation, go to the automation project and if you're ETL, go into the ETL. If it's a data analyst, go into the data analyst. And if you're automation tester, Selenium, just you have a look. Take just some just have a glance on it and understand how that works. That's it. That should be good. So that really helps to get a project quickly. Okay. So here so we have like almost completed for manual testing. So today we just have a touch base on QTP. Okay, so what is the QTP? So QTP is like quick test professional. So this comes under regression testing. Remember the first class we talked about this regression testing? It's actually automated testing. Okay, so this is done once the manual testing is done. So let's say you're in the web application, you're testing some web application and you're once that is done, this next step is after all integration testing, system integration testing, after all these are done, you move to regression testing. So normally the regression testing is uses tool. Okay, it uses tools like Selenium or QTP, loader. Okay, loader is completely different thing. It's a performance testing, but there are many more tools if you want. So some guy also wanted some Selenium because I wanted to practice Selenium. So I can give you access for the Selenium IDE, I guess. That's an IDE. Let's have a quick look on that. So somebody actually wanted Selenium. Yeah, that's Selenium IDE. You guys can install it. And you know what, it's this is good for Firefox. I think you have in Chrome too, but the reviews are really not so good, so I really didn't had a chance to look into this. But so why Selenium? Selenium is open source and you can practice Selenium better than QTP. I'll give you introduction on QTP, but you can go ahead and try with Selenium because it's free. You get such kind of things. This is a similar tool like QTP, but this is good for it has good reviews. 4 out of 5 and 25 users actually. Okay, that's best, but 136 562 users. So this should be good. And you can practice this similar way how you are doing for QTP. Okay, that should be. So I get I'll send you this email so that you can install it in your plugin. It's basically a plugin. It's not really installation. It's just a plugin in your browser so that you can just install that plugin and just use it right away. That's it. So there are many modules in Selenium, Selenium IDE, Selenium. There are various scripts too where you need to handle, but you can start with small. Okay, so better if you do more work on that, you can have the better idea. Okay, so here we go. We'll just talk about QTP pretty quick. So let's go. So what you do in this? So what exactly you do in QTP? So here's the thing, you first record, okay? First you need to record. It's kind of record and playback, okay? So what are you recording here? We are recording the web application, right? Let's say, you're navigating this page, enter gym online, you're typing some numbers, it's all being recorded. So that's what you're doing, and this information here, the buttons what you're clicking on, and this all these things is being recorded in the QTP. That's what you do. And playback, and of course, once you record, you can do n number of times playback. Okay. The same way, you can enhance a test. Okay, enhance in the sense you can edit the module, because we just record once and playback many. So you want to edit it because you want to run for different customers, not just one. You want to run for 100 customers. So you want to enhance it. So that's what it means. You want to. So here's where the topic comes: parameterization. So parameterization, in sense, you will assign whatever information required in these fields. Here's the thing, these are the fields are changeable, right? You see this changeable, but this is static text. This is not changeable. This you can change it, assign some variable, enter that variable, put an Excel sheet, put a lot of data in that and run the process. So that's what you do in enhancing. Normally it's parameterization, because it's like record once, playback many. Okay, you can playback n number of times. Just enter the data what is instead of the original data. Okay, so you can do that. And debugging, of course, debugging is more of a QTP designer, like who wants to design like the test. Okay, so here's the thing. So this regression testing is completely different different team. So you have this QA team. You may or may not also coordinate with the regression team, because once manual is done, regression is started, and you need to coordinate with them, because what test cases you are using, they might use similar test cases, they might enhance their own test cases, based on our test cases. Okay, so a lot of coordination work is also required. So then what you do is, after debugging, running the test and analyzing the results. Okay, so once you run it, you run the test script. So what happens is, when you record this, the script is generated automatically. Okay, here in this case, automatically. You're not writing any here to start with. You're not writing any Java code or any. Here mostly you'll be writing VB scripting, Visual Basic. Okay, so QTP is doing work for you. You're not really writing any code here. Okay, you're not doing anything. Just clicking the buttons. You know how to click buttons, right? Just play, record, play. That's it. That generates a lot of scripts here. Okay, so now you want to run that same script. Modify some data in that. Change the data here and there and run it. Then you analyze the results. Okay, and then reporting defects. Now, of course, you can report defects, but here's the thing: you shouldn't get many defects here. Okay, in this scenario, you are not supposed to get many defects. So why? Because again, who is going to get caught is QA, manual QA. Because the next question, once the boss figures out that there are so many defects from regression team, now they will catch hold of QA guy, not a regression team guy. Why? Because the very first most question your boss will ask to you is why these defects are showing up in regression team. Why not it was fixed in QA? Valid question, right? Why these defects are showing up in regression? Why not in QA? Why it was not solved in QA and why it is showing up? So here's the thing you need to answer, right? Now, if you don't have answer, of course, you really want to make up some answer pretty quick. Otherwise, you'll be in trouble. So that's the thing. You shouldn't get many defects in regression part. Okay, so let's go to the next. So, okay, so here when you start this QTP, so now it's no more QTP actually, right? It's UFT. unified functional listing. So, these functionalities are not so much that looks like here, but thing is, options remain same. Okay, there are options. They might automate some of this, remove those manual things, just put it automatically. But these options really will be same in our new QTP as well. UFT, Unified Functional Testing. I think UFT is 12, 12.5, yes. Okay, so this is old version. This is 10. Okay, so these add-ins. So these add-ins. Why do we need this add-in? So first question is, why do we need this add-ins? Now, QTP only recognizes based on the object. Okay. Now, okay, there's a lot of things in HTML. Like as I told you, let's go back really quick and check here. So there's a lot of things happens at the back end. Let's say in Amazon. So this is pretty simple website. We'll go to Amazon pretty quick here. Okay, now once you go here, let's see the script here, okay? We'll just try to see the script. Now, here's the thing, we have a lot of things here. There is HTML, okay? There is also JavaScript, right? This is JavaScript, a lot of things. This not this, and if there's a video here, there will be, Flash Player 2, Ajax, a lot of things, is there here. So you just not HTML. So what happens, right? QTP doesn't recognize everything. It only recognizes few basic parts in HTML, and the other thing is doesn't really, So that's the reason you need this add-in. So that what you do is add in a separate, it's a separate module in the QTP to, understand the, things which are created, understand different things which are created by different languages like SQL, Java, SAP, Oracle, .NET, That's the reason you need this add-in, so that QTP understands. Otherwise, no point running QTP because if you're using some Java and you're not check marking this, so you don't know Java, so this doesn't work. Okay, so that's the reason you need this add-in. Let's go to the next, pretty quick. Okay, so here's the 3 modes of recording. We have normal recording, analog recording, and low-level recording, right? And what's normal? It's normal, of course, it accepts. So normally recording, you take it accepts left mouse clicks, left mouse clicks, like it's like these buttons, these buttons. See, these are left mouse clicks. That's normal recording. And analog recording is, it's kind of, it accepts, like, let's say you are working on something which requires tab, which requires enter button. Okay, that's the reason this example is tab, right? So you want to use this tab, move this, something else. So to understand for the QTP that, you need this analog recording. Low level recording is normally right clicks, okay? I'm just giving an example. So there are many other features other than that. Okay, just giving an example. Let's say this. Okay, this. So sometimes there is. So let's take an example here. Right clicks. Here, if you see this right clicks, you have options showing up, right? You have something different features which are can be only done by right clicks. Then you use what? Low level recording, because you see this, the right click here is different and the right click here is different. So there might be some functionalities, there might be some features that is in the web application that you want to do through right clicks, so that's the reason you use this recording mode. Okay, then you have 2 different modes, normal and fast. Okay, any questions so far? So let's have this pretty quick interface. Let's talk about this pretty quick and interface. Okay, this is there is no more such kind of interface in UFT. Okay, But these options remain same. I mean, they might have moved here and there, they moved just all this into one, or all these different modules, but this will be there, of course, because this cannot be changed unless there is a different tool. Okay, so let's leave this. Okay. This is the screen. Let's talk about the screen. What are the various screens we have? And let's go this. Now, this is called title bar. Okay, we know this. This is the title bar where you have an option where showing up, where you can minimize, maximize, and close the window. That's about the title bar. And this is called menu bar, where you have file, edit, view, insert, and all those things. That's menu. Wherever, so whatever you don't find in shortcuts, you find in the menu bar. And you have this file toolbar. It's called file toolbar, where a lot of options is available for you. And again, these options are again there in the menu bar, so not to worry about it. Then you have this debug toolbar. If you're really debugging the code, if you have VB script generated and you want to debug it, so that's the reason use this. And you have this testing toolbar, a lot of option for testing, like you want to record, you want to run, you want to stop, you want to create new script, so on. This is about testing. And then you have, this is called action toolbar, where action, we'll talk about this action. What is exactly action? I mean, it's a simple thing to understand, okay? This is the action toolbar, where you have this action. And this is called test pane, okay? This test pane, this is keyword view, so you'll not find any code here, but there's an expert view. Okay, there are two views here. You can view this in two ways. One is keyword view, one is expert view. In expert view, you have all the code, your VB script code and all the code there. You find it here. Here you all find this objects, this item and all these things in the keyword view, right? And then you have this data table. Okay, this is status bar, which so this is the status bar. Now there's no more status bar. This is a data table where all the data. You can write it. You can put in this. This is kind of Excel. Data table is not really Excel, but it's Excel for QDB. Okay, this is Excel for QDB. You're not doing anything with Excel. This is the design for QDB. So why do we need this? This is whenever you want to put the data, like parameterization, where you will be doing a lot of parameterization. So, you'll be using this data table. Okay. And you can also import this, export this, a lot of things can be done, so no big deal. This is the active screen. I mean, I don't think there's any more active screen, but this is active screen. Why this is there? This shows up when you are running your test. When you're, when you're running this option, right? This shows up and trying to say what you're trying to do and how the page is navigating. Screenshots, kind of screenshot of the page, web page. Now, QTP is a tool where you can do web application and client application too. Okay, both. It doesn't have to be only just web application. You can also do the client applications too. Okay, so let's go one by one. Here in this file toolbar, you have this to create a new file. Okay, if you have this file, you can create a new file. This is to open a file. Okay, and this is see this floppy icon. This is to save a file. If you want this, you can print it out. And let's go here pretty quick. This is a quality center connection. Why do we need this? Now, let's say you're working in a team. No, you're not alone, right? You're working in a team. Now, somebody else somebody else will be creating the script for you. Okay, you will be only running. You are a tester. You're not an automation developer. You're not a QA developer. You're not an automation developer. You're not a VB developer. Okay, you are a tester, right? Now you want to import the scripts. Okay, import or export script, whatever you want to do. But to do that, you need some kind of medium, right? So here you using this quality center connection, we are like, HPLM kind of, where you can pull out the scripts from there and put it here, and so that you can run that script. So that's the reason we need this. You don't have to be this, you can use some other tool or something, but this, since quality center is a part of this, they want to integrate it, so they integrated it. Okay. Next, we'll go to this. So this is called object repository. So object repository. So why do we need this? So let me ask you this. So as I told you, QTP recognizes in any application. Let's say this is a web application. Okay, only through an object, right? Object. Now, can anyone say what is an object in application, in any application, client application or web application? Okay, I'm talking about in terms of software. What is an object? Can anyone say what exactly is an object? Okay, so an object is something which contains both properties and its values. Okay, so for an example, let's take this button. Okay, let's say like this, let's take this example, enter GMO online button. Okay, it has what? It has length, it has height. There is no breadth here because this is not a 3D button. Okay, you don't have this breadth, you only have length, height. Not only that, this has so many other properties which you actually cannot see here. Okay, and title is the enter GMO online, so it has both. What property? Property is length, and what is the value? Value is give me like 1 centimeter or 1.5 centimeter. Okay, it has breadth. Okay, the line, the horizontal line. You see this? What is value? Okay, can we find 5 centimeters or something like that? And so that's a value. So what is a property? Property is something that of an object. Property of an object, and value is the value. Okay, it will be numbers. Not always, but. Okay, it also has a title of this button. So what is the title? Enter GMO online. So that's how you can recognize in an object for a QTP. Okay. So what happens, right, when you record this, you do recording, right? All these properties and values are stored in this object repository. This is called object repository. So what's the use of this? So that whenever you're running that, you don't have to, create it. So you're running only once, right? You're not running 100 times. You'll be running only once with that same application and run 100 times. That's what you will be doing. Okay. But you're not, record every session for everything. Okay. So what happens, right? If all the properties and values are stored in this, right, it doesn't need to be, you can use that for multiple things. Okay, that's the use for the object repository. This is the thing. Now you have next a man with a hat guide. You see this, a man with a hat guide. So that's called object spy. Okay. Now, no, you don't know what's the property and its value, right? Unless you want to see this. Let's see here. So this is not really a good idea to view from here, but still we can see this. Let's see. This is. I want to go here. Good. Okay, good. Okay, good. This is what I'm looking. So here's the thing. This is already shown up here for you. This is a property and this is a value. What is the input type? Button. Input. The type is a property and value is button. What is the name? We submit. And what's the title for this? Is Enter Gem Online. And this is the JavaScript. That's good. Okay. So what happens when you click on this? This is the location it goes. Okay. So that is, you are looking here, but thing is, this all will be shown, here with this man with the height guy. So this guy shows better information than this. Here, we have only limited options. There is also HTML tag. You have this x-axis, y-axis. Here it's not shown because this is really only used for development perspective. We use for a testing perspective. Okay, so a lot of information will be displayed using this option. Okay, so that's the thing. And next you have a debug toolbar. If you're running this code, you want to stop the code in between and you rerun that script, you can do this. You have this option to stop. And you want to continue in between the code, you can do that. Okay, so that is for debug toolbar. It's for debugging the script. Okay, here next we have this record option. Okay, so now this is a record which you will be recording. Okay, in application, any application, web application or client application, you record it, and in that scenario, so this is not enabled because once we click on this stop button gets enabled. Okay, so that's the reason it's disabled. Once you do this, you can run the script. Okay, all the script is stored and you don't have to do anything. You're just clicking button here. I didn't say anything to write any code, so we are not writing any code so far. We are just recording it. What happens when you record it? The script code is generated for you. You are not really writing any code. Okay, it's generated for you. You are just recording, playing back. That's it. You are doing. Okay. Now next you have this is called action. So you can split an action. So this is splitting an action. So what exactly is this action? So action is, in layman's language, you call this as worksheet. Okay, so I want to call this as a worksheet. Okay, so whenever you want to start a new script, you want this action. Okay, so we'll talk about this action. There's a lot of things to action. So in layman's language, I want to say there's a worksheet. You want new action, create new worksheet. Okay, next you have this two things here. That is called start transaction time and end transaction time. Okay, so what happens when you use that? So let's say you are navigating this web page, right? You want to see how much time it has taken, to move from one page to another. So it records the granularity of an application movement, application time. It takes how much microsecond it has taken, how much millisecond, what's the time it is taken to move from one page to another. All those things, that's what it does. You want to see the granularity of an application, of movement of application. So after movement is how much time it has taken, how much resources it's consuming, it's what's happening to the application. So all you do in this. So we want to start point and end point. For that, that's called start transaction time and end transaction time. Okay, and these two are analog recording and low level recording. Okay. And let's go to the next one. Of course, this is the action toolbar where you want to create new actions. You want to split an action, you can do it here. And this is a test pane. Okay, so this is a test pane where you see a lot of information here. You have this item. So item, what is item? An object. So this is an object. Okay. And what is the operation are you performing with that object? Is it a select option? Is it clickable? If it's a radio button, it's a clickable, right? You click it. If it is a drop-down box, and you see this drop-down box, that will be select. If it is a button, normal button, again it's a click button. So all the operations. What operation are you performing with that object, right? And what's the result? What's the value for that object? You want to see for value for that object. So that is and documentation, what's happening, what's happening with that. When you click on this object and value, what's happening. So this is about the whole view of this object properties and what's happening with this. Okay, here it's shown here, but in expert view, when you go, it's all about the code. Okay, only you can see only the VB script code, right? And then next you go to this data table. So this data table, if you want to put some data, okay, as I told you, it's an Excel for QTP. You want to store some data and you want to. See, let's say you're running a script. You want to run in iteration, first iteration, second iteration, third iteration. You want to put some data here to run it. So in that case, it runs in iterations. Then you have, this is active screen, shows you, screenshot of the application. So this is all about for the functionality for an QTP. Any questions? Okay, so let's go back here real quick. So here's this object repository. You see this? So this is what we were talking about. This object repository is, this icon. You see this? Here, this is once you click on that, you can manually add some objects into that. Okay. Once you add object, this is the property that shows, and this is the value. Okay. You can either add manually, or once you run that, when you're recording, right, it automatically gets added. This is this is welcome, Medpre. That's a web page is called parent object, and remaining are child objects, and this is the child of this, and this is the subchild, so on. Okay, all are children objects for this parent object is welcome Medpre. So what is exactly this parent object? That's a browser. So browser is a parent object because you cannot see these objects until this object is there, right? So that's why it's called parent object here. So whatever object you want to add, whatever you want to add it here, okay, you can do it in the object repository. Okay, that's about object repository. Let's go to this object spy. So this is what I was talking about. This is man with the hat guy. Remember the man with the hat guy? So when you click on that, this option pop-up shows up, and you can click any web application or any client application to get the object, what are the properties and what is the values. You see this properties and values you get inside the object spy. Okay, that's about object spy. And let's go to the next one. So to how does the quick test recognize as an object? Okay, it recognizes the three three ways, that is mandatory properties, assistive properties, and ordinal identifier. These three are used to identify an object for QTP. So that's what, right? I mean, as I told you, QTP only recognizes objects. So everything in this web page is an object. This image is an object. Okay, this text is an object. Okay, this is URL is an object. This this field is an object. Everything is an object. Okay, that's how it recognizes. And what does it do? It takes its values, takes its properties, and stores it. It can have multiple properties. But really, for a QTP to identify an object, it just needs a unique property and value. Not really. You can also have you want only the unique value of an object. Let's see. Let's take an example. So how does this how does QTP recognize this? So for you it's simple. You say just click this button, but you are doing that. Okay, you record that. That's fine. But how does this thing recognizes? This thing recognizes when you start writing code, you want to put this information here, okay? Because this has some property and values. Every button is the same size. You see this, same height, same length. The only uniqueness lies about these three buttons is their title of that button. What is the title? Enter Geoma Online. What's the title about this? About Geoma Online. So that's how it recognizes. It just really requires one unique value for that property, and for that, QTP recognizes. That's how, so it really requires a unique value of that property. Okay, and let's go to the next topic here, synchronization. So why do you really require this synchronization? Okay, now let's say you have recorded all the scripts. Okay, you have recorded a lot of applications and a lot of stuff. Now you're running that script. Now you have generated a script. Now it's automatically generated. You are not doing anything, right? It's automatically generated. Now you're running that script. Now once you run that script, let's say there was some issue. There's some issue in the server side, and the hardware was a little slow, and you know what? The application became slow, and it didn't respond as quickly as it was required for QDP. And QDB thought it's an defect, and just start the script and open the defect. It automatically went to the result and it's failed. The script got failed. Now that's really not a defect. Why? Because now there was some issue in the server side and the application became slow. See this went very fast, right? Now that's good, but this really didn't went so fast. So QDB thought it's a defect, and so that's the reason you need to tell QTP that you need to wait. Okay, you cannot move so fast. The application is slow and the server is little bit they have like old server, and it takes time to move that application. So you need to wait. So what you do is you write a small code here, just called wait. And wait in bracket 10, that means wait for 10 seconds. So, 5, that means 5 seconds. So that's the reason you need synchronization, because QTP might really go fast, and applications are really not all applications are fast, right? If like if you see like Bank of America, anyone has seen the Bank of America, you know what, how slow the application is. I said the worst. I think I've seen that's only the slowest application I've seen. Whenever I was in, I used that was really slow. So that's the reason QTP cannot run, just the moment if it is slow, the moment, it really stops the script and, the report gets failed. So you don't want that. So that's the reason you need to synchronize. That means you're telling QTP to wait. Okay. So here's the thing, how you can do. Let's understand this code a little bit here. Now this is a one-line code. Okay. Now what's happening in this code? Okay. Now let's see what's happening. So here, let's say status is window. Okay, good. The window name is slides. That dialog. Okay. So this, dialog. What is a dialog? Dialog is a pop-up window. Okay. Let's see how how this code is done in the real application. So we have this. Maybe Okay, we'll go. We'll talk about more detail into this moving forward. But let me give some, some brief idea here. So you have this. Okay, you have this button, and let's see this. Oops, can I change this? Okay, good. That's fine. Oops. Okay, good. Now, it's in order. So this is not really movable. Okay, so he's saying like, please, please order something. Okay. Now, if you go back here, huh, so it's not really movable. Okay, so here, please order something first. So what is this? This is a pop-up window. So what is called dialog, the dialog box. This is, okay, this is so many terminology here. You call this window, you call this dialog box, you call this pop-up, it's a way where you write the script here. So we call this as a dialog in code. Okay. So dialog, so that's called dialog. Okay. So window, again, this window is, everything is window. This is also window. So what he's trying to say is window, again, what is this? Okay. This is called flight. So this is a value for that, So it's not really property. I don't want to say anything here right now because it's really not there. So this is, this is called flights. Okay, so instead of demo.borland, right, it is called flights. Okay, and what is the dialog? Flights table. Okay, okay, so here your dialog says flights table here. Okay, dot exist means if the dialog box really shows up of such kind, you need to wait. Okay, so this whole statement means, right, there's a dialog box called demo.borland where you need to wait. Okay, this is showing up, so you need to wait. So that's what you're writing here, one line code. Okay, this one line code is for the pop-up window that is showing up. Okay, this you've seen this pop-up window, right? That's the whole code. And normally, what does it contain? It contains property and values. You're right away specifying there. Okay, so we'll go in detail a little bit, in a similar way. We'll go here, just check on that. Next we have these checkpoints. Okay, so there are various checkpoints in QTP. So why do we need this checkpoint? It's kind of screenshot. Okay, it's kind of not exactly screenshot, but it's kind of highlights. So you're trying to highlight and you need to see it manually. Okay, this thing you can only see it manually. Okay. There are 8 checkpoints. One is standard checkpoint. If you don't know what is, then you call it a standard checkpoint. Okay, so I'm sorry, if you don't know anything, and you can use that one as a standard checkpoint. If you don't know what exactly you're using, you can use a standard checkpoint. You can use for almost everything. Okay. Then you have this image checkpoint. Let's say you want to checkpoint this image. Okay, this is called image checkpoint. Table checkpoint. So here you have table. Okay, the only thing is you cannot see. You know what? Let's show you. Okay, here you see this table. Now this is a table. Okay, the table border, you have this collapsing, the width, and what does the table contains. Okay, so all these things. So that if you want to do that, so that's called table checkpoint. Okay, and then page checkpoint. Page, if you want to checkpoint the whole page, okay, that's called page checkpoint. Text checkpoint. Okay, if you want to check only the text here, that's called text checkpoint. Text area checkpoint. Say if you want to only the area of the text, okay, that's called text area checkpoint. Then you have this bitmap checkpoint. If you are, this is similar to image, okay, whatever you're doing for the image. And then database checkpoint. So if you are working QTP on, various databases like Oracle database, you're connecting to them and you want to see how much data is there. See, this is used, if you have less data, you can use QTP for automation, but really if it's more, then it's really, you cannot use that. But yeah, you can also do database checkpoint. You want to check how much data is there, let's say Oracle database, and pulling out record from this, you want to do that, you can use database checkpoint. Okay, let's go to the next topic. So you can go ahead and, if you want, you can use this regular expression. Now, as I told you, if you want these slides, So I hope everyone have access to this Google Drive. So if not, just send me an email. Okay, we're giving you access for this Google Drive. Let me show you pretty quick where these slides are located again, because I know I'm telling this for third or fourth time, but people just keep on saying it, so that's the reason, right? So somebody, people don't pay attention, right? For them, actually, I'm saying that this is like fourth time I'm saying so. Okay, so you know what? You have this drive, and just go to this directory number 26. Here you find all these slides what I have told you. So go ahead and click on sixth slide, and you'll be having this. Okay, so you can go ahead and have this look in this slides. Okay, let's go to the next topic, parameterization. Okay, so as I told you, why do we need this parameterization? Now you are recording this. Okay, you're recording this, and you're recording it once. Okay, let's see. You are recording on this, and this 10 value there, and we can proceed order. Good. Filling this information. This. Okay. Clicking this button again. These are all clickable buttons. Place an order. No, and this is done and return to home page. So you have recorded one single line of this page, the complete page here, and you have done only once. As I told you, you have only done just once. But you want to run that. You have recorded it once, but you need to run it. Run it for multiple times. Okay. So for example, let's see. Okay. Now I want to run for multiple people, not just one guy. There are like so many people, who will be okay, this is a different name, different address, different city, different. So all this will be different. So you want to put this information. These are the values. Okay, so these will be all values. Okay, you want to put that. So you want parameterization because you are replacing that value with a variable and assigning that values in the Excel sheet. Not really Excel sheet, it's just QTP defined Excel. Remember I told it's integrated with that Excel sheet. So that's what you need this parameterization. Why? Because you need to run multiple times. Okay, for multiple people, not just one guy, two guy, three guys. Like 100 data, 100 people you need to run. That's the reason you need this, because you want to make sure all the test results are passed for a different people, different data of different kind, because name, sometimes they have some issue with the name, exclamation mark is not accepted, special characters are not accepted. In that case, everything gets sorted out. Okay, so that's the reason of having this parameterization. Let's see here. You have this screenshot here. This is the object, and this is the operation what you're trying to perform, and this value. You are really replacing this value with a variable. Let's see. Here we have this option. Just you can use this right click and change it, and you see this. Let's zoom. Okay. Okay, so here if you have this constant is in London, instead of you're removing this, and you're checking this parameter here, the second button, and changing the data table. You want to say that you refer to the data table. What's the name you're giving? P underscore item. Okay, and where the location of this is global sheet. That means you're telling this QTP that look into this parameter called P underscore item and follow the steps and run the steps accordingly. Okay, you're telling that QTP to run it based on all the data. So here you go. So here they are supplying this data here. See this? London to Paris, Paris to London, Denver to Paris, Paris to Denver. Okay, So they're trying to, have this flight from option and selecting the parameter to run for four different data. Okay. Once it's done, we'll take this value. And once it's completed, you verify the result. So result is generated, right? Result is generated and stored in, particular directory, wherever you have assigned it, it gets stored there. Okay, the same way you can do for this checkpoint too. Okay, a test with multiple actions, we'll just skip this for now. Okay, let's talk about this various types of actions. So there are two types of, again, action. What is an action? So as a layman language, right, I would say action is a script. Worksheet. No, you want to write some code, or you want to generate the code from QTP. So you want to do something. You want to write somewhere, right? Where are you going to write? Okay, let's say notepad. Okay, you have this notepad, but for QTP, that's it's called action. Okay, so there are two kinds of action. That is a regular action and reusable action. Why regular action? That means you cannot reuse it. Once it's done, it's done. Reusable, you want to use this reusable. Let's say you're creating some function. Okay, you're creating some function. You want to reuse that function in future, and you want to call that in script. So that use reusable. Reuse that. Dump that function into library file. You recall whenever you want in that script. So that's the use of reusable action. So regular is just regular. Just use it once and that's it. You're done. Okay, that's not non-reusable. Okay, and there's two tests which contains locally and externally. So locally in sense you are using in your system, externally in sense where you are connected to different, as I told you are connected to various teams, right? You'll be using a lot of things. Okay, so you want to use the externally, then you can also use this. Okay, there's two types. Then you can insert and call into an action. This is an option. Okay, you can get this. How do you recall this action? Through insert. Okay, insert menu bar. Okay, you have this option, call any action, call to copy action, so on. Okay, if you want to make it reusable, this is a pop-up window. Once you create action, you can check mark this reusable action. That means you can create functions and dump that function into the library file, and you can recall it whenever in your script, whenever is required. Okay, so let's go to the next topic, recovery scenario. So why do we really require this recovery scenario? Okay, so this recovery scenario is required because let's say you are let's take an example here. Okay, you know what, you're running the script and the script is pretty big. It takes 48 hours. Okay, it takes 24 to 48 hours to run that. Okay, let's say 24 hours. Now, that's too much time because you're running for a lot of data and a lot of things are happening. Now there was some issue. Okay, so the hardware was slow. Server was slow, and there's suddenly a pop-up window. Let's take previous example, right? A pop-up window shows up for no reason, and that was not there in the script, and that was really not recorded, and nothing was done with that. Now that was from the server, not from any application or something. Okay, that was really not expected. Okay, so now what happens, right? The QTP thinks it's a bug. Now pop-up window, because there is no script designed for that pop-up window, and suddenly there's a pop-up window. Now that pop-up window shows up because of hardware, the server. Now QTP doesn't know. It really opens. Now it's you're running for 24 hours, and this 23rd hour it got failed, and the whole script is gone. You wasted 24 hours. Now that's really not a good. It's not a good thing. So what you want to do is you want to create recovery scenario. So what happens, right? So whenever there is a pop-up window, you want to tell QTP that if there is anything such kind of pop-up window, ignore that and continue with your script. So that's what you're telling QTP. Okay, that's what you need this recovery scenario. Why do we need recovery scenario? Because you're telling QTP to ignore that and continue with the rest of the script. Okay, so there are three types of recovery scenario: trigger event, recovery option, post-recovery run option. Let's see here. You can create, by scenario wizard. Here you have this option. Let's say if it trigger, you have this option: pop-up window, object state, test run error, application crash. So if you think that this is really present in your server, and if you really think you come across this kind of scenarios, you want to use this trigger event. Okay, so let's say there's a pop-up window and click that, and you want to see this, that. So you're saying, basically you're saying QTP to ignore that and run with the rest of the script. We know that's not an issue. That's really not in the application point of view. It's from server, it's a hardware. Really don't worry on that and continue with the rest of the script. Okay, that's what your recovery scenario is used. Okay, so let's really, we'll take just a quick look on the code. So far, we have not discussed about any code or something. Okay, so let's really talk about this code. Why do really we require coding when you have this record and playback? You have record and playback, right? Generate the code itself. QTP generates for you. Well, why bother writing code, right? So the problem is, when there is a static application, there is a static application. So this is called, this is static application. We don't worry, everything remains same. There is something called dynamic application. So what happens in this dynamic application is, buttons keeps on changing. This somewhere this place was here, suddenly changes to here. The images get changed. There's a lot of things happening. So in that case, record and playback doesn't work at all. It doesn't work. Because QTP really stores all these objects, properties, values into object repository, and it thinks like the property is there, and it just tries to click that button. That doesn't work because it's really not there; it's somewhere else. So that's the reason you need this coding here. Okay, so now we are independent of that object repository. No objects are stored in object repository. We really don't bother about that anymore because we really are giving that information in the code itself. Let's see. Okay, so let's see one code here. Okay, pretty quick. Okay, so this is the code what you will be writing. Okay, let's say you are running this script. Okay, so we'll take a previous example what we did. Okay, so click on, when you click on this this pop-up window shows up. Okay, now what is called error? So we have, this is a window, right? So this is a window or dialog. So you remember we have so many options here. That's called dialog. That's called pop-up window. That's also called as window. So these are all multiple names used for different reasons. Same different terminology, but used for different things. Okay, window. So this is okay, window, and that's error. So this is an error, and dot win button. Okay, so this is a win button. Why it's called win button? Because it's for Windows. That's why it's called win button. And now here it says like text is okay. Yes, text is okay. So what we are trying to do is text is the property of this button, and okay is a value. Right? Okay, So what we are trying to do is we are trying to insert this property and its value. Okay, good. So this is the text is a property of that object, and value is okay. Now you also have width, that's 50. Oh, that's good. Yes, width, they have put 50. Dot click. So what you're trying to say, dot click means you want to click OK. That means dot click means you have clicked OK. Okay. So that's what this code means. Okay. So whenever you are trying to write any code here in this QTP, you are just putting everything you are trying to do is you're always putting the property and values of an object right in the code. So that's what you will be doing the whole coding into that. Okay. So there will be a lot of options, like if it is click button, you'll be saying dot click. If it is drop down box, you are also having that option as dot click. Okay. Let's see here. Here. Let's go back. Which is select, want to has this option as dot select. Okay, so there's a lot of things that we'll be using in coding. Okay, so but this one line code means you are clicking that pop-up window to OK button. You're just clicking that. So that's what this one line code means. Just to click OK button, you're writing this code. And this code explains here there's a window, that means it's a pop-up window, and the window's name is error.win button, because since it is a window, so it's called win button. And what we are trying to do here is you are assigning this property and its value. Make sure it is unique. So we are also, QTP recognizes any object through unique. Okay, so that's a unique, right? There's no other OK button like this. So that's why you can use this property and one more property and its values, of course. And what you're trying to tell using that, saying to click, so that it clicks that button. Okay, so that's how all the code is used, and then it goes a little bit complex. Once you use a lot of lot of application, it gets really complex. You need to use a lot of predefined code, that is like get arrow property, that means get runtime object, and get to property. Okay, so we'll be using a lot of that. Let's check if you're interested in it. Let's see. This one, if you are interested in learning in QTP, okay. There is a lot of things, if you can go ahead. This is also put in the syllabus too. If you want, you can go ahead. Okay. Learning here if you want. So there's a lot of tutorials. Some most like when I was there, there was 40 tutorials. Now it has become 82. So there's a lot of increasing. Okay. So you want to you can go ahead and learn some tutorials if you are interested in. Okay. It explains each and every functionality how we can use for various QTP objects. Okay. So yeah, so that's about QTP. So this was just for introduction. If you are interested, you can go ahead and understand more on about QTP, how we can perform it. But it will be more for automation developer. If you want to go as a developer part, automation developer, QTP developer, or Selenium developer, you want to use that. Otherwise, as a tester, all this is not required. QTP tester just uses button and use the screenshots. Document the results. That's it. Any questions so far? Good. Some people have written. So let's get it. Let me check. Yeah, always make sure you guys attach the screenshots. That's more important part in your job, right? No screenshots. You know what? You are depending on your luck. Okay, if you're not putting screenshot, if you're not documenting anything, you are, I would say whole and soul. You are just, depending on luck. Okay, because that is a most important aspect in your testing perspective. Because if something happens, if somebody else does mistake, you're the one to get caught. Why you did this. Okay, show me your results. Where is your result? And if you're not showing any result, any documentation like screenshot, attachment or anything, right? So, obviously anyone, if there is no evidence of your work, they'll think, no, it's fake. You didn't do anything. You didn't do any testing. That's right. There is no evidence when you have not done anything. Okay. So make sure, put that attachments. Okay, so any questions so far? Okay, so there's one more homework due, right? Did you guys completed any certifications? Tomorrow, tomorrow is the last class. So we'll talk about this. We'll go through this pretty quick certifications part. How can you get this certification? Oh wow, people have created space. That's good. Okay, so we'll just go through this and let's see how we can get some. It's not new. Okay, good. Enough for people to do something. Okay, so yeah, if no one have any questions, can we close this class for today? Okay, thank you guys.